Hi everyone, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I'm here to share some holiday cards that I made. Before I show you the cards themselves, I do want to show you the paper that I used. I was going to call it a sticker book, but it's not a sticker book. It's a pad of paper. This is a Craftsmith Hot Buy paper pad. It's called Gilded Berry. It's from Michael's, and it is from roughly 100 years ago. I've had it for a very long time. But I did want to keep working my way through it. I used 4 sheets of the paper from this paper pad. I used the one that looks like all these strips here. I have a few miscellaneous bits of strips left here, but mostly used them up. And then I used this pattern paper, the white version of that pattern paper, and then I used this gold and green paper. So this is all I have left of those 3 sheets here as well. I'm just going to throw that back in my leftovers. And then I also use these Park Lane A2 cards. These come from, I think, Joann's. A2 cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I find them to be a really good size for using up paper pads, especially 12 by 12 paper pads. So you can see 2 of the papers here, and then I don't know, the third one will be here somewhere. But for the purposes of using up the paper as much as possible, if you use 12 by 12 paper and you're doing A2 cards, you can cut out 6 that fill this page. So if you cut them out at 4 by 5 1/4, it leaves this like border around it. So I cut out 6 on each of the sheets, which gave me 18 of them in total. And then I paired them up. So I paired up these 2, so on and so forth. I paired up all the papers, and then I did various cuts to make very easy, but hopefully interesting cards very quickly. So like this one, for example, I cut both of them in half, and then that makes this pair of cards. So basically what I did is I cut the 2 in half, and then I took the 2 left sides, the 2 right sides, and mixed and matched. And then I just used one of the strips as a border. And then for these, I used another strip that had been cut down, and then just a gold Sharpie to write Happy Holidays. And I did that on both. And then another one of the strips that had been cut down, I turned it into like a little flag and then a reverse flag and stuck that. So this would be 1 pair of cards, for example. And I did that for most of the cards. So the next pair had the white or the cream background paper, and then this green and gold paper. And I cut these with like a short and then a long. I think I cut it at like 2 inches. And then the longer part, another strip across. And then this was another strip. I wrote Merry Christmas on these. I have a few people that like to get cards that are specifically Christmas cards. So I put these together for that. The third pair was this darker color, and then the gold pattern, and I cut that also similarly horizontally but further down. Used another strip, and then one of the strips said Happy Holidays a bunch of times, so I just cut out a couple of those to make these. This 4th pair, I cut it vertically but uneven in this case, and then used a strip to cover that. And then another one of the strips had these greetings of the season, and I just trimmed them because they were too long all the way across, but I just trimmed it to go like this. And then this set, I also cut vertically, but like very far towards one side, and used a strip, added some more of those Happy Holidays from that one strip, and then a couple of little scraps for flags up here. I added flags when it felt like I needed flags, basically. And then this half, I had this pair, which I cut diagonally, and then used 2 different strips and just trimmed them here. And then another one that says Happy Holidays in that gold Sharpie. I added a little flag on this side because it felt empty when the little sentiment was down here. But when it goes in this side, I feel like it's not too empty with the florals down here. So I just left it as is. This is the same diagonal, but the opposite direction with these floral ones. And then again, 2 different papers. This is actually part of the scrap that was left from this paper when I cut those backgrounds. Again, when it's empty on the top, it feels empty. So I put a little flag, and then there's little Happy Holidays here. And then I left 4 whole backgrounds. So this was a white floral one, and then I used one of the strips just vertically here, and then a little happy holidays horizontally. And then I did the same thing with the burgundy floral, and then another strip of the leftovers from that gold paper. And then this gold background, I used this really wide strip, and then a happy holidays here. And then the last gold background, I used a strip here, and then I cut that greetings of the season to remove the little scallops, and I turned them upside down here because I thought that looked cuter. And then I added a little flag because it felt empty. So basically this ends up with 18 cards. Here, some of them are pairs. So I have these 4 that I feel like are not really, well, these 2 I guess are pairs. But I have these 2 that aren't paired, and then I have a bunch that are all paired together, like so. So I think this should be plenty of cards for what I end up sending out every year. I might actually even have leftovers, but at the very least, it gives me a good number to be using. I didn't put anything on the inside right now. I do have some holiday sentiment stamps, so I might end up stamping things as I go, dependent on if it makes sense or not. Somebody like my grandma, for example, I might actually write a bunch of things inside there. But when I'm sending a few cards to some acquaintances, things like that, I might put in a stamp and then just handwrite a shorter sentiment in addition, or a shorter note. But I think that covers everything that I have for today. So as always, please like and subscribe below if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Let me know if you make your own cards for the holidays or for other occasions. And if so, what your favorite approach is to get a lot of cards done quite quickly. If you don't have anything that you want to leave down below for that, just leave me a little rose emoji, because I feel like these are roses and that seems pretty cute. And then follow me on Instagram at Creative Life of Liz. You can see in progress and finished spreads in my planners, bits and pieces of my crafty life, bits and pieces of the rest of my life, what I'm reading, all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.